Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Silver Years. My name is DK, and I'm very happy to be here, and I humbly thank you for joining me. Today, I'd like to talk about the little things, like common courtesies when interacting with others. Things like etiquette, politeness, consideration for another, and even kindness when having a personal interaction. Yes, I'm aware, as I'm sure you are, that personal interactions took a turn for the worse during the 2020 COVID scamdemic. And from what I can see today, this is when our humanity as a whole was turned against itself as we were made to be afraid of others and afraid to speak our truth. A sad turn that has only gotten worse with society's prevailing addiction to social media and the inhumane standards set by the synthetic intelligence running all of these social media platforms that people seem to be getting their guidance from anymore. At the heart of all of this, it appears to me that humans have forgotten how to connect and communicate with each other. And I mean communicate effectively. To communicate effectively is a skill, a learned skill that takes practice, lots of practice, because there's always room for saying it better. And this skill has gotten lost behind face masks, phone screens, 10-second sound bites, and the false notion of social distancing. Humans are social creatures, no matter what anyone says. People need people. We need connection in order to be healthy, emotionally healthy. It is an essential part of a balanced life. Yet, our younger generations are not being taught how to connect with others of all generations in a healthy way anymore. They are not being taught how to communicate with others effectively or respectfully. Social skills and common courtesies are clearly not required learning in the school system of this country, and they don't seem to be taught through example at home as they used to be either. What our youth are being taught is coming from phone screens through synthetic intelligence, fake influencers, and bots. These things are non human and have no link to the human emotional body, even if they pretend to. It used to be that the first place many of us learned the social niceties and social skills like manners, kindness, consideration, how to communicate was in the home, surrounded by family members who set the example through daily practice. Unfortunately, this is not what we see today, and this is where things have gone sideways due to the dysfunction, the stress of life, media distraction, and addiction to tech, amongst many other things. And our children are suffering for it. In fact, we all are suffering for it. The only way our younger generations can be taught the skill of effective communication is by communicating with them, conversing with them, human to human. Easier said than done. I get it. I get it. But in order to support our young ones as they take our world forward, we need to create the environment and take the time to offer them the opportunity to practice and improve these skills, which I personally deem more important than a school system education these days. A child that knows how to communicate effectively will go a lot further than a child who can memorize useless facts but is afraid or unable to speak to anybody. One byproduct of learning how to communicate effectively is understanding the importance of etiquette and manners. Manners. Kindness and consideration can take a conversation a lot further in effectiveness than anger, hostility, and cruelty. And yes, standards for etiquette and manners can vary depending on the location or the community, but certain basics remain constant the world over, regardless. I've noticed over the last several years, especially, that humanity has been so abused through social aggression and negative expectations that when someone nice comes along, the recipient becomes suspicious and has difficulty accepting it for what it is, just someone being nice without an agenda. And let me say here, too, that there are a lot of very nice people out there, contrary to what we're being programmed to believe through the toxic media. But again, as I've said many times before, we live in a highly polarized world. What can help us has also been weaponized to harm us. And how I've seen that polarization manifest itself in the realm of communicating with kindness is how you're perceived when the cynic or the narcissist or the con artist and positioner, how they perceive it when you're kind. I've lived this. And I've noticed over the years that when I'm kind, these personality types often perceive me as being stupid and an easy target for being taken advantage of. And it's been on me to know when that's occurring. Yep. Learned that one the hard way. From a practical perspective, this sad state of polarization amongst the human population is something that only we can change from within. No one's going to fix it for us as a society but us. Yet it's important to be aware of. This is where I think the Southerners in this country have it right. I know the people of the South and their Southern charm have been harshly judged by some as slow and stupid. But are they really? Seems to me the ones doing the judging are the slow and stupid ones. Because from what I can see, the Southern commitment to manners shows exceptional intelligence and has made it a nice place to hang your hat for many. I have a girlfriend who lived in Savannah, Georgia for about 5 years. She told me a story one day that I never forgot. She was in an open area of the city that saw many people walking by when she saw a younger man with phone in hand and whatever else rush by an older local woman, abruptly knocking into her as things fell to the ground. The man never even noticed and kept going. The woman called out after him, "Sir, sir, you forgot something." That caught his attention enough to turn around and come back while patting down his body, looking for what he might have lost. "You forgot something," she said. He was confused and said, "What?" "Your manners." Brilliant woman. Bravo. You know, a number of years ago, a Texas trial attorney by the name of Jefferson Fisher popped up on Instagram one day, filming from his car as he began giving common sense advice on how to be an effective communicator, something he had great experience in given his profession and Southern upbringing. I discovered him when he first started posting and appreciated his warm Southern approach and practical tips. I even met him when he appeared in Costa Mesa here in Southern California a few years back when he was just beginning to catch the attention of a wider audience. I believe he was in the middle of writing his book, The Next Conversation, at the time. Now he's on the cover of Time magazine. Because why? Because people are finally beginning to understand that they need to learn how to communicate better, that they need to learn how to have those difficult conversations in a way that's productive. And this man is helping society to do that, to relearn that important skill with a little Southern charm sprinkled on top. I'm glad he's out there. Manners and consideration are, for me, some of the little things that can make the difference. The difference between conflict acceleration and conflict resolution, for example. It's the subtle aspects within the exchange that our human senses pick up through our energy bodies, whether we're conscious of it or not. You know when someone is sincerely treating you with kindness and respect. You know when someone is truly listening to what you're saying. You know when both parties are offering their undivided attention to the exchange because no one is scrolling through their phone at the same time. Your body even knows when someone is lying, believe it or not. What we want from others, we need to be prepared to offer in return. If you want someone to listen to your perspective, you need to be prepared to listen to their perspective. If you want respect, you need to be prepared to offer respect in return. If you want kindness, you need to be mirroring in kind. This is common sense. Does it always work? No, not always, because it takes two to tango, right? And not everyone is willing, open, or receptive to it, which to me means that we have to meet and accept people where they are while remembering that no one wins in an ego battle and no people pleaser ever got their needs met, ever. What it doesn't mean is that we should have no boundaries or allow ourselves to be verbally abused or harmed in any way because we're trying to be nice or considerate. Personal boundaries are essential in this world where people have forgotten how to be tolerant. And it can be hard sometimes to establish and enforce those boundaries, but necessary nonetheless. Common sense, intuition, attuning to the subtleties of any personal interaction is critical. It's a skill we've lost through disuse, and it's a skill we're all needing to develop anew. But again, it takes practice. We have to be with people to learn how to be with people of all types. I know many in the silver years demographic who were brought up on good social skills. Silver years demographic is a demographic that was raised on social interaction and public etiquette, a demographic that was raised without the overlay of cell phones and computers as well. But many of this silver years group, many have chosen to isolate and insulate themselves against the disconnected social retardation that is being pimped by the synthetic bots of the matrix system by simply stepping away from it, choosing peace and quiet instead of conflict. Because they are an experienced resource, there is much to be learned from our silver years generations when it comes to the little things that matter and how to say what you need to say while using old fashioned words like please and thank you. Or how about excuse me and even I'm sorry when appropriate. These little words open doors and oftentimes hearts and minds. These little words can make the difference. Now, let me just say, as a reminder, like most of the things I discuss on my channel, this topic is extremely multi layered and multifaceted, which means that it's not just one thing that makes it all so. It's many layers of things over time that has gotten us to where we are today. What I'm trying to shed light on here are simply some of the significant factors that I've observed when it comes to our programmed and conditioned inability as human beings to simply be kind to each other, to be tolerant and considerate of each other, to be polite and show respect for each other because, like it or not, we're all here together, like kids on a playground, needing to learn how to play nice with each other in the big sandbox we call Earth. All said, in the end, I feel it's our responsibility to get educated, to learn as much as we can about how we can connect as human beings in a healthy way that supports a more cohesive society rooted in the little things, the little niceties that lift the heart and bring smiles. And practicing better ways to communicate can play a larger role in this. So, before I go, I'd like to leave you with a question to ponder, as I like to do. What little niceties in life bring you the most joy? Please leave your comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, be well, choose love, and thank you. Thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.